I really was excited to share this breakthrough that I had, and it was last week that I had it. And I just have not had a moment to really have this time to sit and actually create this video for it. So, I have the notes right here that I took in the event that it all happened, and it was one of those aha moments where you're just kind of like, oh, that's so profound, like one of those kind of things. So, okay. Purpose is like getting a college degree. Okay? The end. Bye. I'm just kidding. No. So, okay. What I mean by that, now bear with me. I have personally gone to college twice. Okay? My experience is going to be different from everybody else's experience in life. Mine may be a little bit similar, may not, I don't know. But just recently, my daughter, my oldest daughter, who is 17 and is a junior in high school, she and I have been searching out colleges that she wants to go to for after she graduates. She is wanting to look around at specific ones within, here in Utah. And she had three that she was really kind of scouting out. So we went to the whole college campus, the whole preview day. They had a junior preview day for one of them, the campus tour for another one, just trying to get an idea of the feel for it. Now, my personal experience with college is the fact that I got into college up at the University of Utah whenever I just barely graduated. I applied myself. I didn't really have much help with family or anything like that. I was the first in my family to go to college, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on my grandfather. He may have. He was a master electrician, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. I only know as much as my family has told me, and well, yeah, we're not going to go down that road yet. That's past stuff that we really don't need to bring up right now. That's not part of the process. But I was one of the first. So it was one of those things that I kind of was just figuring it out on my own. And so I went to the University of Utah because of the fact that I was going to get a chemical engineering degree to be able to take over my father's business. And in all honesty, I didn't want to do it. I was just doing it because that's what he wanted me to do. And it was around my first year in at the University of Utah that I realized I don't want to be a chemical engineer. I can be one. Don't get me wrong. I can go through the process, but I don't want to. So it was in that moment, because this is just how I am. It was in that moment that I realized that I didn't want to do that. And I remember that the exact class that I had gotten out of, it was calculus. And I was just like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. And it was in that moment that I drove off to the Air Force Recruiting Center and actually signed up for the Air Force on the spot. So nobody knew about it. I just kind of did it, And so I left for the Air Force instead of going to get my college degree. And that's a whole other story down the road. I'll tell that story later. But that was my first college campus experience. During that year, I jumped around to different classes and was trying to figure out what I liked. And, really figuring out, taking all these different classes, I thought, well, maybe I want to be an architect. Didn't really, go down that road. I thought, never mind. I took a class, a general, so it was a bunch of jumping around in there. And then after that, later down the road, after the military, I got back into college at Western Governors University, which is an online school here in Utah. And I got my bachelor's degree in elementary education. So I became a fifth grade teacher. In that was my first real college full-time experience, and it was all straight online. No campus, no nothing. There was no college experience, let's say. Okay. So it was just me going straight online, just pushing it out, getting it done, working to get that degree, pushing forward, getting it all over and done with. No experience. So why I bring these up, because purpose is like getting a college degree. When I was at the second college for my daughter, it was so inspiring listening to some of the speakers. So they had a woman up there, and it was one of those things that she was talking about choosing a place where it feels right to you, which I love that, because it wasn't something that she's like, I'm not going to try and like convince you to come here. You have to want to come here. Fair. That's fair. So it's one of those things with purpose. You can't just like shove yourself into something and, eventually enjoy it. It's got to be something that feels right to you. It has to be something that matches with you. It's not just like, oh, I'll struggle in this for a while and, we'll get there. No, it has to feel good. Okay. It's always going to change. Your purpose is never going to be the same thing. It's not one purpose. It's never going to be one purpose. You're going to grow. You're going to change. My purpose has changed drastically throughout my entire life, from being in the Air Force to being a fifth grade teacher to being right now being a mother and being a co-worker at Cabela's. It's always going to change. Your purpose is going to change, and not everyone knows exactly what they're going to do and actually does it. Like, that's the thing with college. There are going to be some people, yes, that know exactly what they want and they go for it and they stay in it and they're in it forever, for the rest of their life. That's great. Those people, I commend you. But not everybody's going to be that way, okay? Not everybody's going to know what they're going in for and stay in it. It's going to adjust. Like with college, I don't know how many kids that I've talked to that I gave Uber rides to that said how much they changed their degrees and stuff like that, because college is an experience. It's not an end-all be-all. It's to kind of like learn it's like a stepping stone out of high school, and it's like that middle world between real life and it's that realm of where you're self-discovery, and you get to experience things and figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then you get to fine-tune it into where you really want to go. That's just the same thing with your purpose. You're doing the exact same thing. You are figuring out what you like, what you don't like, where you want to go. Same thing. Same thing. It's going to change, always. You'll probably go down one road and you're like, oh, well, I didn't really like that, so let's try a different route. It's okay. That's the thing, though, is people need to stop comparing. That's the biggest thing. Comparison, I love this quote. It's one of my favorite. Comparison is the biggest thief of your joy. So if you are happy about something and then you look over and you see Tom, Dick, or Harry with different things, then you're like, oh, well, mine's not good enough. Then of course it's going to like take that joy right out of you, because you're comparing your apple to their orange. It doesn't matter. Okay? You do you. Okay? You do you, boo. You be you. If you are happy, if you are genuinely happy doing what you do and you love it, who else cares? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So why I bring this up is because I've been in numerous chats and groups of different people that are so laser focused on trying to figure out, what's my purpose? What am I meant to do? What am I supposed to do in life? Just be you. That's what you're meant to be in life. It was so profound when I realized this, because of the fact that it's so simple. We make it out to be this huge thing, this like, oh my gosh, it's got to be this. That's your ego. That's your ego talking, saying like, it's gotta be like this big, magnificent thing. No, every single thing I have done in my life has had purpose in it. Every single thing. Every conversation. When I drove for Uber, I cannot tell you how many people I have talked to that me just having real, authentic conversations with have affected them. That's the thing, is that's all that we do, is it's just being you. And that is your purpose. That's all you got to do. And keep doing things you like until you get to the point of where you just don't like it anymore. If you don't like it anymore, it's time to move on to something else. Go down a different route. Transition into something else. Do something different. Change it up. That's all that you got to do. It's so simple. And why this also came to me was because of the first school that we went to. It was so interesting because they have this structure outside of the building, and it talks about the Alexander the Great and the Gordian knot. Now, I love synchronicities. It's just one of my favorite things. And numerical, angel numbers. Always love those too. But Alexander the Great and the impossible knot, the Gordian knot. This story is so nice because it just kind of clarifies exactly what I'm talking about. In 333 BC, see, I love those. I love the synchronicities, especially 3. There was this giant knot that was tied to an ox cart. And this giant knot was said that if anybody could untie this knot, they would rule all of Asia. So it was foretold that whoever could break this knot, untie this knot, undo this thing, would rule all of Asia. So the story goes that Alexander the Great tries at first to untie the knot manually. He tries and he's messing around with it, and he eventually gets frustrated and tired with it because he realizes that it genuinely is an impossible knot. So this is where he becomes quick thinking about the situation. He could have sat there and he could have tried to untie it even more and wasted all of his time and energy in putting into trying to find the loose ends and doing all of that. Instead, what he does is he pulls out his sword, he unsheaths it, and he just straight cuts right into the knot. Cuts it in half. Straight cuts it in half. And therefore, he did untie that knot. It was broken. It was not a knot anymore. I love that little pun. Did not plan that, but I love those happy accidents. It was not a knot anymore. So when he did this, he found a simple solution. Sometimes we waste so much time and energy trying to figure out and do all this work when the simplest answer, work smarter, not harder kind of thinking is supposed to actually be used in the situation. Just like purpose. Just like your purpose. Your purpose is not this big, humongous thing that we have to achieve and that we need to like work really hard for, and we need to prove something. And no, it's just being, it's just helping out other people and being ourselves. That's not very hard, right? I mean, sometimes it is hard to be yourself in front of other people. Sometimes that is a hard step. And those are things to work towards. Those are things to like work on yourself, that not on yourself, but like work within yourself and with help from other people, if you so choose, to bring that person out. But it's so simple, but not easy. Because, you got to work on that stuff. But think about it. Do things you know you like and go from there. Okay, I like to talk to people and understand people, and I like to help people, and I like to help people succeed. And so, okay, mentor, duh. Life coach, whatever you want to call it. Spiritual guru. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I love I love getting in the mind. I love understanding why people do what they do. That just fascinates the crap out of me. Like, no lie, in high school, I really wanted to be an FBI. Yes, because of Criminal Minds also, but I didn't know that Criminal Minds was a real thing. And so, BAU profiler, because I just, getting in the minds of why those crazy people do what they do fascinates me. But that's also part of like my trauma and my family history with, crazy people, and those people understanding why those people did what they did. Because I actually do understand why my family did what they did. Doesn't make it right, but I get it. So I did at one point want to be able to do that, but let's be real. I really don't want to spend that much time trying to get into the FBI BAU. That's a lot of time. And there's no guarantees, and I don't know whose butt I'd have to kiss, and I really don't want to do that, okay? But I love the mind and how it works, and helping people unravel their mental thinking and helping people overcome those mental blocks. I love that stuff. Mental breakthroughs are so cool to witness. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So back on track. Stay on track. Branch out and try new things to see if you like them, and if you don't, well, cool, but it's never a waste. It's always just data. It's always just information to know where to go next. It's just, a way to further understand yourself. So really nothing is ever a waste. Everything is data. Everything is just new information that you are putting together to further understand who you are and what you like and what you don't like. And that's good. That's good information. So the biggest thing, this was the biggest part that I got from purposes like getting a college degree, is that so many of us do things for the outcome. I'm not speaking for everybody. I was subject to this many a times, that I went in for what I was going to get out of it. So I went in to be an elementary school teacher to get the degree, period. There was no point in really getting involved with the school or doing much. It was all online anyway, so there really was not a whole lot you could do. And I was also moving from Germany to the United States, to Utah, then from Utah to Spokane, Washington. And so I was moving a lot, and I was also pregnant and giving birth to 2 kids at that time as well. So I had 3 kids. I have 3 kids. I was also, raising kids and going to school full time. And yeah, so I was more focused on school more than anything. And so my outcome was to get the degree. There really was no like experience in it, which is good, but at the same time, I kind of like look back now at what my daughter's going to experience in college, and I look at it and I'm like, ooh, I would love to have been able to do that. But at the same time, it's not my story. And I hope that she gets to go do that, and I hope she enjoys it, and I hope she has fun, and I hope she actually experiences things and not just like holes up in her dorm, because I did talk to quite a few kids that because I used to, like I said, drive Uber, and I would drive college kids all the time, and there were many that were foreign exchange ones, and they came here, and I'm like, what are you getting out and doing? And they're like, nothing. And it's like, well, why not? You know, like, why aren't you getting out there? Well, because, you know, and like all this stuff. And it's like, okay, that's fair. But, you know, I hope that she finds time to be able to go experience it, to get the real college experience. I mean, we even talked about her joining a sorority, possibly even, you know, to get more experience in the college experience, and to, you know, take away those preconceived notions of like judgments that she has of what they are, so that she breaks that thinking. But yes, let me digress and go back to where we became. So do things for the experience, not for the outcome that may or may not actually happen. There is no guarantee that what you think will happen is actually going to happen, right? Because curveballs get thrown at us all the time, right, in life. So there is no guarantee that what you think in your head is going to finish up, what's going to happen. So why not go in, instead of like aiming for this, which it's good to have a goal, but at the same time, go in with this like anticipation of what else could happen. This enjoying the experience, like even the crappy shit. Come on, you still gotta enjoy it. Because if it isn't for the crappy shit, we can't appreciate the good shit. Okay? So it's like, yeah, going into college, sometimes you will have to eat ramen for a good while. Great. Then you're gonna really appreciate how you can modify ramen in a million different ways to actually make it, you know, withstandable. You know, you're going to get creative about how you eat. You're going to learn how to budget. You're going to learn how to, you know, appreciate later on how you had to eat that way. And then when you get the money and you actually are able to pick and choose a lot better food and eat a lot better stuff, you're going to be like, I love this. I love this feeling. You're going to be grateful for that. You know, being grateful for the fact that you have even food. You know, it's all of this stuff. You get to have this experience. This is life. This is what you're here for. And so the only way you'll ever know any of this information, the only way you're ever going to get the data, is by getting out there and actually trying. Getting out there and learning what you like and don't like, by changing your major a million times if you have to. And when I say major, I'm not talking about like actually technically like college. I'm talking about like life major, you know, where you're going, what you're doing, job changes, you know, that kind of stuff. I've had so many different jobs. It's not even funny. But that's because of it's not because I can't stay in a place. It's because I outgrow that place, and I want to grow. I want to challenge myself. I want to achieve more. I set the bar and then I reach it. And then I'm like, okay, what can I do next? Not because I don't appreciate it. It's because I'm like, well, if I'm capable of that, well, then what the hell else am I capable of? Let's keep going. Let's push the boundaries. Let's test our limits. That kind of stuff. Because this is life. It's a whole experience. It's so great to be able to have different things under your belt. like never in my life did I ever think that I was going to be an Uber driver. I was absolutely terrified of having someone, random person, getting in my car and me having to talk to them because my social anxiety was crap. Crap. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have talked to somebody about the weather because that was the only go-to that I could go to because I was so nervous. And so it's okay because it helped me learn and it helped me grow and it helped me become who you see here. It's been an experience. And I loved driving for Uber. I just don't want to do it anymore. It's not my thing anymore. I've outgrown it. It's time for me to move on. But that's the thing with, life. My purpose in that moment was to be an Uber driver and to help people and to have conversations, because I had some great conversations with people that probably changed the direction of their life. People that have been through similar experiences that I have been through and help them in some way, sort, or form. That was my purpose in that moment. Don't put so much weight on it. Like it's, if I don't find it, I'm going to die. Go out and live. Shit can be scary by putting yourself out there and doing new things. But what's scarier, this is the part that's scarier, is by staying stuck in a repetitive cycle or pattern and never growing. That to me is scary. I don't know about you, but that to me is scary. Like, I can't do that. I cannot stay in this perpetual cycle and never get further in life. Never try new things. Never actually do things. Like living life. I am such a wild and free spirit. It's just, I love life. So staying in a repetitive cycle, a repetitive pattern, yes, it's security. Don't get me wrong. And you don't just straight drop it like right now. I'm not going to go out and be like, well, okay. Don't get me wrong. I have done this before with a job and drop it because I want to go try something new and have no stability to keep me, here grounded in the 3D on Earth, saying, hey, okay, I got to pay these bills somehow, I'm still going to be in the job that I am in right now, working for Cabela's, until I get the next part of my life up and running. But I'm not going to put that much, it's an experience. Now, for an example, with mine, for a while there, I was so hyper focused on, I've got to get this job up and running. This is where I'm talking about, all of this ties in for my example. I had this, I've got to get this done and this done and this done and this done to get this job up and running. And I've got to have all these things accomplished, like a checklist, Then I had this moment where when I applied for my LLC, I didn't do a few things that would help. I didn't get a virtual address. I didn't get a virtual phone. I didn't get another phone number. I don't have some of the things that would be really important to have. So I'm going to have to make an amendment. At first, yeah, I was a little annoyed at myself. I was like, this is what we get for rushing into things and not thinking things through and not looking this stuff up. But at the same time, I laugh now because guess what? It's part of the experience. This is all part of my personal experience with me trying to get my own business up and running. It's going to have bumps, and it's going to have setbacks, and it's going to have huge milestones, and it's going to have little milestones. Like the little milestone is I just opened a banking account for my business. Celebrate those things. Yay! Kind of thing. It's going to have these moments. This is life. No matter what you are doing, it doesn't matter whether it's you starting your own business, whether it's you getting a new job, whether it's you starting a new school, whether it's you going out and trying something new, a new sport, or getting back into shape. you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have roller coasters, flips, and push huge leaps forward and a couple steps back. You're gonna have these moments. But be grateful, because that's how you know you're alive. That's how you know you're living life. You're gonna have all these experiences to help you understand it better, and to be grateful for it, because it's just making you a better person. It's helping you. This is data that now I have, that I'm going to be like, you know what? Let's stop and think this through a little bit sooner before we make any jumps or, thoughts to go on to the next thing. Let's stop and think about this for a moment. It's going to help me. That's all. It's just data. So take this into consideration, okay? This is the biggest part. This is something that even my oldest daughter helped me come up with, because this is such a big takeaway that we all need to remember. There is no race, and nobody is competing at life. If other people are competing with you at life, you don't need those people around. If somebody feels like they need to compete with you, you need to drop that person. I'm just saying, because it's not a competition. It's not a competition. We are all in our own lanes, going at different speeds, okay? At different speeds. We are all going to reach different destinations at different times, okay? And no, I'm not going to turn this into a math problem, okay? You are where you are meant to be, okay? You are where you are meant to be. Now go after your dreams. Go after your dreams at your own pace. At your own pace, okay? You don't have to go fast. You don't have to go slow. You go at your own pace. What feels right to you? It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to get there and what direction you go in, as long as you get where you're meant to be and never give up. Okay? That's all that matters. That's the real point, is that don't give up on those dreams. Okay? Don't give up on wanting. Just don't try and force it. Don't try and make it fit into a square peg if it's a round hole, okay? Don't. Go with the flow. Do things as you can. Not by what other people want you to do, but by what you want to do, okay? So, again, I close this with, purpose is like getting a college degree, okay? Don't go in for the outcome that you think that you're going to get. Go in for the experience. Experience life, okay? I love you all. You have a beautiful, blessed day. And go out there and find your purpose, okay? Be your purpose, okay? Enjoy your purpose. That's love.